Hello, and a warm welcome to this week's video update. My name is Scott, and it's edition number 26 now of the updates Zenergy provide. I'll be talking through the wholesale changes week to week, what's been changing in terms of valuations, what's been influencing them, and what we can expect to see in the near-term future this week and next. So let's begin. Firstly, you'll see wholesale gas prices on your screen now and the change over the last 8 or 9 months or so. We can see week to week, we have seen another 2% decline or so in valuations, and that has been a continual trend over the last couple of months or so as we've been observing. So since the dramatic peak in late August, we can see there has been a 2 to 3 month period of continual declines in valuations as much more bearish fundamentals come into play, which I will touch on in terms of what's driving the prices down. Power is similar. They're obviously very correlated. There is a bit more volatility during the September period, you'll see on this graph here. Overall though, week to week, power prices have seen a greater loss of 5.6% on average across the curve. A new feature for this presentation is the day ahead market. I know a number of people are tracking this market, and I know a number of our clients are trading on it. So just like the forward curve, prices have come right down since that peak in August. However, you could say prices right now are much more suppressed. As of yesterday, gas prices closed at 102 pence per therm, which is much lower than the forward curve, and power prices closed at £108 a megawatt. So we're seeing still elevated prices from normal conditions before the energy crisis, but that's not far off really being normal valuations that we observed kind of 2019 era. So what's happened last week? We have a continual theme that prices are continuing to tumble on mild weather. So this mild weather has persisted and is persisting into November now. It could be the case that temperatures will be as high as 6 degrees above seasonal norms going into the month. So that is obviously significantly higher than it would be expected, and as a result, gas demand has been suppressed, heating demand has been delayed or less needed. So it's keeping demand levels down, which in turn is contributing to a bearish pressure on prices. EU gas storage has passed the 95% mark now. So I think when I last did the presentation, we were at 93%. We have continued to add to this into November. It's not always the case that November you'll still be adding into your storage levels, but given how it's so mild right now, it has given us the opportunity to do so. What this means is France is basically maxed out in terms of its capacity. I think it's 99.8% full. Of the Western nations, it's the Netherlands that have the lowest and probably have the most potential to top up now. They're sitting on 92% storage levels. Finally, we've been discussing it for a couple of these updates now. The gas cap that the EU are trying to agree appears to be struggling. So conversations continued all last week and are likely to continue this week as ministers meet to try and come to a conclusion of what's best appropriate to cap gas prices, if any. Quick look at this week then. One thing to note is COP26 has begun, located in Egypt this time. And we've already seen some big announcements. So Rishi Sunak has announced the US LNG deal. I would not be surprised if we get more updates in the next few days from other nations and possibly more updates from the UK on more energy updates, environmental targets and policies being drawn out there. So that's one to keep an eye on. Next is we have very strong LNG cargoes heading towards the UK, so very strong numbers. November is probably going to be a very high month in terms of the whole year so far. So we're expected to have around 16 LNG cargoes by December reaching the UK shores. And finally, temperatures are set to remain above seasonal norms. So at least till mid-November anyway. I believe the forecast is for them to go briefly in line with averages before then returning mild again. So during that brief period where temperatures are mild, it'll be interesting to see if the markets reverse in any way the trend that they're currently on. But overall, as the month of November is looking, it's going to look like another mild month as October did. That's everything from me this week. There is further information always on our website, our newly updated daily market. report, which is there every day. And we also have the Market Watch live team, which you can chat to between 10 and 12 if you need any more further information. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.